Oh, we are back. What a 2 weeks it has been, but we are back. Better than ever, baby. Hello, I am your host, JustLatasha, and this is a live dissection. What is a dissection? It is sort of a full review and recap of P Valley. I am dissecting the entire season 2, live every Monday. And but instead of just regurgitating what we already saw, we are using the visuals to expand the story, to dive deeper, to hypothesize, to romanticize, to expound deeper feelings, all of the layers in the moving emotion, using color theory, using wardrobe, using the set, using everything that you see versus what you thought you saw. Put it together. Watch this. Put it together. All right, I am a filmmaker. I am a screenwriter, upcoming with a comedy sketch series, which I'm super excited about. Shout out to OTV, which has offered me an incredible fellowship to partner with them for my series. So good things are going. But tonight is a dissection. So we are going to dive into episode 7 of P Valley. If you are here in this room, that means you are a patron. Patreon.com/JustLatasha. For just $5, you guys can access this live show, dissect and hypothesize with me, chat with me, make some friends up in here, because we family. We all know each other. Okay. And I'm also on social media, JustLatasha on Instagram, JustLatasha404 on Twitter. And I want to see who we got up in the chat, because we have so much to talk about. So I don't even want to waste no more time, dog. I don't even want to waste no more time. Hey, Barty with the first comment. Thank y'all so much for putting hearts up in the chat. Oh, how I miss y'all so much. Don't be mad when I'm skipping over stuff, y'all. We're going to touch base and keep it moving. Okay? We ready. So let's do it. I don't want to waste not a lick of time. Man, I love a good opening sequence. I love a good opening image. So we're going to start. First of all, before I even do that. So for $15 on Patreon, you guys do get a downloadable gift. You guys watch this video, you guys support this channel. I love it. I thank you guys so much. So what I'm thinking for next month's gift, for August gift, you guys are going to get a visual dissection downloadable booklet. And next month, I am doing Parasite. Now, I wanted to create a digital dissection book for P Valley, but the show wasn't over yet. So I want to wait until it's completely wrapped before you guys can get something like hardcore in your hands. But I'm thinking, so first Parasite, which was the Oscar-nominated Bong Joon-ho, Oscar winner, incredible film. So I'm going to make a digital downloadable dissection book. And then I think September should be the P Valley dissection book. So that's at the $15 tier. And as we dive into P Valley, we have to talk about the color theory. What do the colors used in the show mean? And where does that put each character in their emotional state? So season 2, episode 1, Andre, who's running for mayor of Chucalissa, Mississippi, says this: there is an unresolved tension between who we are, yellow, who we say we are, blue, and who we want to be. There's a conversation and a tension and a language and a soft, delicate dance in that. We also have the color pairing of black and white. The theme of especially season 2 is life, represented by the color black, and death, represented by the color white. So when you see black and white together, we are talking symbolically, visually about life and death, and asking where those characters may be experiencing a little push and pull, a little tug of war between those two. We also have the color green, and usually green in film represents new journeys, new ways of life, new beginnings. And of course, if we had a strip club, baby, we talking money. Hello? We are talking money, okay? Usually when we see the color pink in this series, it's sort of the status quo of the pink, Uncle Clifford's house, right? But pink can also represent love, softness, things like that, sort of in the passion lane. But pink, we at the pink, it's happening down at Uncle Clifford's house. And of course, we have the color red. Across film and TV, red is usually the biggest, harshest symbol of danger, caution, stop, pain, wounds. but it can also represent love, passion, that heat, that fire brewing in between two people or more. Will they or won't they? Okay. So now that we all caught up, let's dive into tonight. So I want to start with this opening image here. Oh, Ernestine. Oh, Ernestine, the beginning of the pink. Starting with Grandma Ernestine singing to the nightclub before the pink was the pink. And here we even have a tweet by the creator herself, Katori Hall, saying, "The color pink is our anchor as we follow Grandmother Ernestine through the 60s, 70s, 80s." Right? This is her in all her glory, who she used to be in the past. And even when you look at the floor, we have that color pairing, black and white, the black and white checkered floor. And as we learned, this is an entire dream sequence to show that Ernestine is not really here. This is sort of a moment in time, but that's who she was in the past. Currently, she is actively fighting COVID. Huge danger for the elderly. She is in between life and death. And of course, she would also be in pink because, again, it's the status quo of the pink. So even though we know it to be Uncle Clifford's status quo, where did she get that from? Her legacy, right? The pink before the pink became. Bringing us to legacy. We are talking legacy. Did y'all notice that visual parallel? Did y'all know that visual parallel? Okay. So the pink is Uncle Clifford's generational legacy, the in-between. Will the pink live or die? And Haley says history is important, but so is the future. So when we're thinking about the in-between of life and death, do we keep the pink open to sort of die this very slow death in honor of legacy, what it used to be? Because what it is right now and what it looks like it's about to do is giving death. So do we try to keep our legacy alive via generational wealth? How else can you let them know you was here? By demanding what you're worth. Period. Okay? So even here we have Uncle Clifford dressed in black and white because as Grandmother Ernestine is battling whether she'll live or die, Uncle Clifford is battling whether or not the pink will live or die. And so we have this visual parallel between what the pink means past, present, in order to decide what we're going to do for it in the future. Hello? Is my mic on? I also noticed Uncle Clifford has on gold eyeshadow this episode. Gold and yellow are the same, right? This yellow, who you are, your identity, the truth of who you are. And as we're standing in the pink, this nightclub is her home, is her legacy, is her identity. What was also symbolically really cool in the dialogue was Haley saying, 6 feet. Clifford's like, I'm about to kill you. 6 feet. Symbolically, the in-between of life and death, because 6 feet is the distance you need to remain alive during COVID, but 6 feet is also the depth it takes to bury the dead. That was slick. That was real slick. I did tag the writers of this episode on my Twitter, JustLatasha404, by Ian Olympia and Nina Stifle. I'm so sorry, Nina. I got you tagged though. All props to you. So moving on, let's talk. Cause what you finna do? So what you finna do? Let's take a look. Let's dive in. Tarika, 14 years old, Mercedes' daughter, the in-between. She is in between adult and child. What are we gonna do? Ice cream or abortion? Paint my room maybe? Or book report on racism? Which, for Black kids, See, the white people want to shelter their babies from racism because they don't have to learn it. That's their privilege to opt out. Black kids, we have to know what racism is because we've already experienced it as children, maturing us faster than we should be. They are in between life and death. Will Tarika abort her baby or become a mother? And even in the room, if we look at Tarika facing herself in the mirror, she is wearing blue in a blue room with yellow curtains, right? So the blue, who she wants to be, versus the yellow, who she is. There is a choice and an in-between in identity. We also notice that Tarika is not even in the reflection. From Mercedes' POV, Tarika is not even in the reflection while looking at herself. This is Mercedes' in-between of history and future. Does she even see her pregnant daughter or just her past self? Did y'all realize also that when Tarika comes to visit Mercedes, the room is from the past? She's a baby. She's a child. There's unicorns and bunnies and butterflies and rainbows. And this is the bedroom of a child. Mercedes is not even seeing her as present. She's seeing her history. We're in a different place now, mama. We are in a different place now, mama. And what better, Mercedes literally knocking on a white door, knocking on death's door. Is we about to abort this baby? Let's go. Let's go. Mercedes in red. Endangered or dangering? So I really want to spend some time speaking about Mercedes' projection in this episode. And I'm kind of going to group Mercedes and Tarika in large chunks just because I want to get to Clifford and Murda. Yum! Okay? Let's group Mercedes and Tarika real quick, because as Mercedes is here dressed in red, you're bringing a lot of pain to the room, mama. Mercedes is in as much pain as she projects it. So Mercedes' mother and her daughter both blame her for having a teen pregnancy and engaging in sex work. Sounds like a wound to me. Sounds painful to me. Mercedes' baby daddy and his partner Shell blame her for ruining their life and relationship. That's a big wound to carry. Tarika blames Mercedes for not being a present mother, and Mercedes blames the family and the state and her job for the reason she wasn't present. That's a big wound to carry. Mercedes improperly prepared Tarika for sex and never quite had a fulfilling and educational sex talk. Does Mercedes blame herself? Is Tarika's condition Mercedes' fault? I want to say Mercedes' fault. I like that. Mercedes'. So as Mercedes enters this room knocking on death's door, she is riddled with guilt, shame, self-imposed punishment. Did she even make room for life? I'm trying to save your life, but are you killing me on accident? In this entire episode, mother and daughter drive in a yellow car as they journey to both find their true identities, that yellow, who they are. Now, as a point Mercedes made at about the middle of the episode, for Black women, quite literally being pregnant puts you in the in-between of life and death. It don't matter where you're from, how well you speak, how educated you are, how much money you have, the best health care in the world. You're at risk of life and death as a Black woman being pregnant. And literally named Serena and Beyonce for being rich, famous, powerful, well-to-do women who still face death while being pregnant. So what are you doing, mama? Who are we? Where are we going? So she's dragging her daughter along, forcing her to portray her identity in that yellow car. Let me jump up in the chat before we move on to what we're going to dissect. Trini boy in the house, what up? Not going to lie, this episode triggered me heavy. I've been missing my own granny who passed away in January. I am so sorry, my love. I am so sorry. Hey, Jem. And since the pink is intrinsically connected to Ernestine, Uncle Clifford is literally trying to keep both Ernestine and the pink alive. Imagine that trauma. Imagine the weight on her shoulders. Imagine carrying that. Woo! And emotionally, in her heart, they're the same exact thing. The pink and grandmother Ernestine are the same exact thing. So if either or leaves or dies, all right, let's see. Let me see where I got the Keyshawn coming up. Before we get there, we're going to talk about Alfonso. Get your foot off our necks. You be acting down. I want to talk about Lil Murda and Ernestine. Y'all notice something? Y'all notice something? Both lay on the color white. Quite literally, both lay on their deathbed. Now, Ernestine coming out this dream sequence that opened up the show says, I can't drink. I can't take nothing from the dead. While we have Murda and White being haunted by Big Teek's death, it's still on him, weighing on him. His pajama set is also bottoms with blue and yellow. So we have this white top representing the death he just experienced, and the blue and yellow, this in between of his own identity. Who he wants to be is taking over, but peeking out just a little bit is who he is. And I believe right here, right now, he wants to be a lifesaver because he personally feels, as I would imagine, he failed to save Teek's life. Imagine living with that. Imagine living with someone who wanted to end their life and there was nothing you could do to help. You'd kind of carry that around. You would feel like you failed them, even though it was their decision, their stuff. If you're actively trying to save someone and it didn't work, you're going to wear that for a while. You are going to wear that for a while. So right now, I believe when it comes to grandmother Ernestine, he truly wants to be a lifesaver, a salvation. The position that Big Teek put him in last episode, you are my savior. You don't even know it. And that was still Big Teek's feeling towards Lil Murda, even though he chose death. So in this time, when it comes to Ernestine, Lil Murda wants to be the person that actually saves a life. So I thought it was interesting that Ernestine says, I can't take nothing from the dead, but accepts food from Lil Murda. You're alive, all right, baby. Oh, you're alive, all right. Even though you wearing death, even though I could smell it on you. Don't get it confused. You are very much alive and are allowed to feed me and save me. In her loss of sight, Ernestine asks when Lil Murda enters the room, who is that? AKA, who are you? Now, I'm fighting with everything in me to not say it the Lion King way. When Rafiki goes to Simba, he goes, you don't even know who you are. I'm fighting with all my might. Who are you? And Lil Murda gives two names. He gives He gives LaMarcus and he gives Lil Murda. So very much like Ernestine, Murda will have to choose between life and death of his identity. Who's going to come out, Lil Murda or LaMarcus? Who's going to come out? And in this moment, grandmother Ernestine chooses for him. You Little Murda, I'll call you that. Okay? Just as So Iconic has requested, baby, what is we doing? Is it going to be life or death, babe? Is we going to use the gun or not? Quickly. Is we going to use this gun or not? Now, Keyshawn is in black. So we could have high hopes that she will, in fact, be choosing life. And we have Haley here in white offering I got something in my purse that could end all this. Little death, if you will, if you like. But baby, please make up your mind. I can't wait to see Derek, a white man, by color symbolizing death, be blown to smithereens. I want to see that juicy pink and red little white meat sprawled across the living room door as the babies are safely in the back seat, battery on. As his little curls is drenched in his brain matter. I can't wait to see Derek. That was really violent. I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said that. That was real violent. That was really violent. I apologize. Ernestine's eyes reminded me of Whisper. Remember Whisper? I feel like it's been so long. What up, Marissa? Ernestine's eyes reminded me of Whispers when she was saying how she smelled death on Lil Murda. Whisper, with the ability to speak to the dead. I like that, Marissa. Incredible take. What up, Kiara? I see you, boo. Side note, the acting never fails in these episodes. They continue to do what needs to be done. Hello? Murda was a whole caretaker in this episode. Both Ernestine and Clifford. Oh, a girl can dream. A girl can dream of a caretaking, providing ass man. Walking around in silk. Feeding me. Cooking. That look on his face and his emotions when she said she smelled death on him, the heavy breathing in his eyes, bravo. Yes. That pic of a deer, it was giving the painting Little Deer by Frida Kahlo. She painted it to symbolize the physical and mental abuse she endured. The number 9 was significant in the painting, maybe. Where are we at? Is this a Keyshawn thing? What deer? Just real quick. I just want to show it real quick. Okay, YouTube, I ain't do nothing. I'm just scared of the aftermath that'll happen if she does that. I hope he doesn't touch the kids because Keyshawn is becoming numb to him beating her. Oh, episode 9, where he dies. Do you know that? Like ahead of time is just a hypothesis. No spoilers, even though I'm spoiling everything. 9 in numerology also states there is enough knowledge in life to create a new destiny, new life. Keyshawn, what up, Nicole? Keyshawn got to be careful, though. The justice system does not care about domestic abuse survivors. What does justice and freedom look like for Key? Like, I get it, but like, I want her to get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like fair is fair, eye for an eye. Like, if you mess with my face, I'm gonna just take yours off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, something like, you know, but I do understand, like, the realities of it, like Black women defending themselves. How dare we? How dare we? So I want to get back to Uncle Clifford and Lil Murda, because they so tender. Oh, let's talk about this. The in-between life or death. The question here between the two, will they revive this romance back from the dead? Because death taught Lil Murda not to put money over love. So this time he is choosing life. So even in this moment, we look again focused on Uncle Clifford's gold eyeshadow, and specifically when she says, well, I may have a lot, but I don't have everything. Noting, being honest about the fact that Murda is the missing piece. Clifford don't hide nothing. You hear me? And if you guys notice at this moment, there are yellow stains on Lil Murda's white tee right after he feeds grandmother Ernestine, right? This yellow is starting to peek out from the white. This truth of his identity is starting to peek out from the death. And this is specifically when Uncle Clifford encourages Lil Murda to start being honest about his pain. However, unfortunately, Lil Murda does not. And Lil Murda being framed by this window, being silhouetted by the white light, was the exact shot we saw over Teak. This is what he still cannot bring himself to speak about or say, but baby, he is wearing it. My love, you're wearing it. We can see it on you. You're wearing it, okay? So Murda decides to remain trapped. Going a little bit further, right? Let's come here. There is so much to discuss. I'm just like, ah! There's so much to discuss. Let's go here with it. Let's talk about these two. Because this is precisely the moment where Uncle Clifford offers Lil Murda a change of clothes, aka a change of identity. Right? We call him Cisco, where Murda responds, who's that? AKA, who am I? Let's keep going. We have here Uncle Clifford's Gucci purse, the legacy, a physical manifestation, representation of legacy. Her mother gave her permission to be herself and protected her identity. The thing is, Lil Murda ain't have nothing like that ever. Protection to be who you are. Uncle Clifford's mother would beat you down with that Gucci purse if you dare talk about Uncle Clifford starting at 3 years old. Imagine the security, the emotional security that comes with that. You would wonder why Uncle Clifford shines so bright. That was love and protection from day one, from the lineage. So knowing that Uncle Clifford was protected from generations ago, we have Uncle Murda standing in front of Uncle Clifford's ancestor, questioning, who will Lil Murda be in Uncle Clifford's home? And they dive right into the question. Clifford says, I'm Uncle Clifford. What are you? And Lil Murda responds, what the world won't let me be. So we're still deciding. We're still in between. We are still deciding. And Lil Murda's identity is so confused because think about who all of these people ask him to be relentlessly. We had Big T, who was like, you are my salvation. Am I? Ernestine was like, I'll call you Lil Murda. I like that better. Does he? The world is demanding Lil Murda to be this masculine, cis-het, straight rapper. But he ain't. And Uncle Clifford asking Lil Murda to be a love and come out of hiding to be who you are. So we ask, who is you, Chiron? It's for my film baddies out there. That was a line from Moonlight, infamous line from Moonlight. Who is you, Chiron? And here's the most heartbreaking thing. I want y'all to take a look at this image one more time before we move on. The colors behind Lil Murda are white and red. visually symbolizing that whatever choice Murda makes, something will live and something will die. So what will he have to sacrifice? What will cost him? What will he have to endure the pain of? What will have to die when he does make this choice? It'll either be Uncle Clifford, his love, or his music, his second love. Now, in a great world, I want him to have everything. I want him to have all of it he deserves. But I think of our ancestor, our great Luther Vandross, who died without loving out loud. Or I think of Andre Leon Talley, who died without loving out loud and sort of settled for this asexuality because he wasn't allowed to be everything at once. And I want Lil Murda to have everything. But I know niggas. I know you niggas. You would never let him be. She almost lost some points when I know who Cisco was. So iconic says Money Blouse and Uncle Clifford is the choice. Either continue to secure the money bag in a lie, or you take the real money bag, the love, in Uncle Clifford. And what an incredible parallel, right? Because Uncle Clifford also has to decide whether she's going to have her love or the money. She loves the pink, she loves her house, she loves the legacy of the pink, or you could have $5 million. I'll tell you one thing, I would have knocked that thing down. You know when people go into the home makeovers and they hand the family the sledgehammer to knock their own wall down? I would have been in there like, I'll make it again. I think part of Lil Murda's love is in how fully herself Uncle Clifford is, and how her love for Lil Murda fills up parts of him. And how her love for Lil Murda fills up parts of him that he isn't ready to reveal due to hegemonic masculinity. I love the vocabulary we use here. Okay? I would have knocked them walls down. You wouldn't have stopped me, I swear to God. Okay. So let's have another big conversation. Ooh! Let's have another huge conversation. This is where I'm gonna end the Mercedes Tarika grouping. Okay, let's have a big chunky conversation about Mercedes, because Uncle Clifford's legacy brought her life. Mercedes' legacy, on the other hand, brings death and pain and wounds, and right. So I noticed as Tarika and Mercedes pulls up, Tarika in blue says she almost peed herself. Yellow. Tarika still having a choice. In blue, who she wants to be. Yellow, who she is. Will she be a daughter or will she be a mother? This is the choice in identity. But Tarika is riding around in her mother's yellow car because she is only experiencing her mother's identity and projections. Now we pull up here at a diner, the very diner where Mercedes was a young teen who was experiencing her mother. Look at all the red. Look at all the wounds. As Mercedes' mother uses her for money, Mercedes' mother harms her for daring to be safe during sex, and where her mother doesn't protect her from a predator, some older man sniffing around. Mom in green. The combination of blue, who you want to be, and yellow, who you are. So this is a question of legacy. Will Mercedes be herself, or will she be her mother? Now, Mercedes is 30 years old. That is the very age. I do say so myself. That is the very age where we ask that question. Oh, I'm just like my mama when I did that. Oh, I'm just like my daddy when I said that. Oh, and you have to decide right then and there, who is you going to be? I know me, myself, I reset a ton of rules. We're not doing that anymore. That stops right about here, right? White, death, green, new journeys. That's me. We're actually not continuing that anymore. I had that conversation with myself hardcore, because absolutely not. So this is the question Mercedes is faced with, this choice, by looking at the legacy of her mother. Even when young Mercedes is sitting in this diner, she is in purple, the combination of blue, who you want to be, red, wounds, and pain. Because who she wants to be is a loved and accepted daughter. She wants to be protected. She wants to be nourished. She didn't get that. So Mercedes, sitting here in this yellow car, has to ask herself, in honesty, in presence, in the truth of her identity, even with good intentions, are you giving that to your daughter? As you slap her across the face, after remembering how your mother beat you down to the white meat on the diner floor in front of that nasty predator who was trying to sniff around you? How far did the apple fall from the tree? But here's the gag. Here's the gag. As a mother, Mercedes escorts her daughter toward an abortion and sees a vision of her mother, Patrice, on the side of pro-lifers, screaming, "Abortion is murder! Abortion is murder!" So Mercedes, thinking that she's saving her daughter's life, to go, just for the theme's sake, kill a baby, while seeing her mother on the side of people who believe abortion is killing a baby. So with different values, intentions, actions, Mercedes and Patrice or Patricia? Mercedes and Patrice become the same. Even when you trying so hard to be different. And subconsciously, that's exactly how generational trauma works. You ask any nignog. Let me tell y'all a little secret, since y'all here on Patreon. This is a secret. Only y'all get to know me like this. All right? Let me tell y'all a secret. I was dating this hood booger years ago. Big body Trini. Whew, God damn, fill me up. Whoa, Tosh, relax. I'm in a serious conversation here. Let me tell you something. I was messing with this nignog, right? He had all these kids. He had all these baby mamas. I'm like, I'm gonna be different, per. But he told me about his father, who went all around the lands of Trinidad, creating all these baby mamas and all these kids, all these broken families. And so I have a very offensive funny bone. My comedy is not for everybody. I have a very offensive funny bone. That's just me as a funny ass Virgo. I was like, I'm sorry, how many kids? How many baby mamas? So you just like your daddy. And it was like a landmine went off. He had never even thought about it. He thought very actively that he was totally different. He would never be his father. But I was like, baby, you're on track. You're on track to doing the same exact thing that you condemn him for and are actively, presently becoming. You ain't never stopped to think about that? But there's a certain time where the dickmatism wears off and you're like, oh, let me wake up and get myself out of this situation. But you don't even realize that you're creating the exact generational steps that caused you harm, and you think you outside doing something different and better, and I'm here to let you know. So it was beautiful in the scene that while walking past these protesters, walking into what she thinks would be a definite abortion, Tarika lets go of her mother's hand. Tarika lets go of her mother's hand at the signs of death. But in the vision, the white signs, the white protest signs, these signs of death, but at the vision in this black ultrasound, this black screen, she sees the life. She sees the life growing inside of her, and that's when she grasps onto Mercedes' hand again. So now we've crossed this where Mercedes has gone beyond this crossroads and decided to bring new life. We see them at the pool. We see Mercedes and Tarika at the pool, surrounded by all of these green plants, making these new decisions. Something different will be birthed here. Mercedes does what her mother didn't do. She protects Tarika from a predator by R. Kelly, which you all need to start saying to these men. And then gives permission to her daughter to make the choice for herself. Choose your path in life. Take the keys. Go drive. We need to discuss how legacy harms generations. At the end of the episode, Tarika asks her mother, Mercedes, if she's going to burn in hell. That's a curse her grandmama put on her. Did you know your grandmama could hurt your daughter? A harmful lesson she learns from her lineage. And in this new life, in this new journey, in this new relationship with her daughter, Mercedes protects Tarika once again from a predator, posing as good, her own mother. If you gonna burn in hell, I'll be right there with you. Don't listen to that BS. What a journey. I can't wait to see what y'all saying in the chat, because what a journey. Patrice Woodbine and the no good citizens of Chucalissa. No one stepped in to help stop the abuse. I was confused here. Patrice was trying to pimp young Mercedes out, yet she was mad she had a condom in her wallet, or am I missing something? Not gonna lie, I had the same exact question. Because you want your daughter to use her sexuality and her skill set of being this mature, fast teen to help you get a come up, but if she's outside actively protecting herself from pregnancy and disease, this is where you have a problem. And it might just symbolically try to tie in the theme of you can act bad as long as you're under my control versus I'm taking your choice away for your own autonomy. That's what I think the story is trying to tie in. But yes, that was confusing. Like, you're mad at the condom, but you want her to go flirt with R. Kelly. But I think it's the yes, as long as I say so, and no when you do, which is what Mercedes is doing with Tarika. Ooh, Mercedes egg and mitochondrial donor, because I am not giving her the honor of being called mother, is really a problem, and I am tired of her. Say that! Mitochondrial donor. Oh, we got some brilliance in the room. we got smart people in the room, okay? I wonder how gentle parenting would have fared. Mary, you're late, but you're right on time. She was quite fine. Patrice was quite fine with Mercedes providing money for the church from the Pink. So her mom allows and even encourages sexual behavior for Mercedes when it benefits her. That part. I think Trini nigga had he was up to 5 children. I feel like letting go / grabbing Mercedes' hand was a perfect juxtaposition of how Tarika is very much so still 14, trying to assert independence, but still wants maternal comfort. Yep, that in-between stage of I'm grown now, as a woman now, versus I need my mama. Yeah. And she needs her mother when she sees for the first time that she is a mother, is when she goes into that childlike state. So I thought that was perfectly executed. Perfectly executed. All right. That's a big word for Elmo. Y'all doing it to me today, but a bitch can read. Hold on. It's hot in here, y'all. Hold on. Not my other wig behind me, child. Okay. Let's see where we at. Let me fix that real quick. You know, I always knock my damn camera off the hinges. Let me see where we at. Ooh. So before I show this picture, I want to talk about the water. I want to talk about Ernestine going to the water, because water spiritually, as we know it, is a portal. It is the meeting place between the living and the dead, right? So when Ernestine is trying to get to the water, finally telling her daughter, yes, I'm ready to come home. I need to get to the water to meet the dead. She says, well, bring the water to me. And just like that, Lil Murda bathes Ernestine in the water from the Mississippi River, feeling like a baptism. The Savior that grants and blesses new life. So follow me here. I have a hot take. Yeah, I know I love these. Follow me. Because we're going to talk about the Savior from history and the future. We're going to talk about the Savior that is Lil Murda. Because please, like Big Teak, Ernestine is choosing death on her terms. And in this choice, she is granting Clifford new life. We see all the green, new life with Murda. I could let go now. My baby is in good hands. I could go now. Ernestine making this choice in daylight. She's lived life already, so now she can actually rest in death. White is a death color, so she is wearing white in daylight, choosing to rest in death as a living person. Versus Teak, who made the same exact decision in the night. He is dark. The blackness representing where he would find life. In death is where Big Teak will find life. So Clifford is about to, what we can assume safely at this point, experience a death and a grief in the way that murder has in this death and in grief, but they happen spiritually in different ways. Ernestine has lived a full, beautiful life. She can rest in death. Teak is looking for life in death. Therefore, they are polar opposites. Follow me. Follow me. That ain't no hot take to me. Thank you, Damien. Thank you, Damien. Whoo. Yes. Yes. Hold on. Wait, where did it go? Here we go. So iconic. Teak is at the water. It's too dark to see, but Teak is at the water. Yeah. A sacrifice. Teak was a sacrifice. I want you to go to Uncle Clifford. I want you to have your rap career. I want you to have everything. I'm going to have tonight. You could have tomorrow. I'm going to get out your way. a sacrifice, security, the protector of life. Go have your life. I'm taking myself out. Ernestine, I'm good now. Stop worrying about me. You're in good hands. I'ma go. Thank you. Didn't Christ get baptized in the river? Old Jordan. Down to the River Jordan. Look, I ain't no church girl, so I might get it wrong. I might get it wrong. Okay. So both loved ones headed to the water, sacrificing themselves, giving themselves to death. A tear is shed. Both shed a tear to the dead. We are talking legacy. We're talking legacy. Lil Murda and Uncle Clifford exist in between life and death. They are alive as they stand amongst the items representing the life of the ancestors. Uncle Clifford's lineage, they stand amidst death while living life. Uncle Clifford's ancestors have her great grandfather on the wall, to her mother's Gucci purse, to grandmother Ernestine's hat. All of these items rest in death to oversee that she will have a new life with Murda. So they stand amongst all this memorabilia, proving they was here. They were alive. They existed. So I want to end with this. Lord. Oh. It's too beautiful. It's too beautiful. It's too beautiful. Let's talk about it. Our final image of the night. Quiet as it's kept, Uncle Clifford doesn't need the pink. The pink is right here in her home, in her bed. She has a brand new home with Lil Murda. And we see all the color theme of the pink sitting here, right now. The pink, the blue, the purple. That's all the colors that mix up when we clapping heels on a pole down to the pink is right here, right now. They lay on these gold yellow pillowcases. This is where they are the most honest, right? This is where they're fully being themselves without any requirements from the world. Who is you, Lil Murda? In this scene, fully claiming to be Cisco. Show me how to I know who Cisco is, aka I know who I am. Stepping in to that identity, literally taking off that white shirt all day, right? Literally taking off that death, living with that black skin in the bed, living, being present, being fully identical. Well, not fully, still got to make some choices, but being bare, vulnerable, present, alive. So I want to talk about the way Lil Murda has sex before we tap out of here tonight. So when we saw Lil Murda have sex with Big Teak, Murda tops. He enters the body of Big Teak. Murda's the top. And this fully plays into how the general audience perceives his performance of masculinity. It was aggressive. It was powerful. It was savage. They were literally snarling at each other. I was like, oh my God, like, men. How we perceive traditional masculinity, all of that is how Lil Murda engaged in sex with Big Teak. But here, with the very she, her Uncle Clifford, size, dark skin, and all, Uncle Clifford, the feminine. Murda receives her. Murda bottoms. Fill me up. Lord. I want to feel all of you. Murda receives she, her Uncle Clifford in what would be known as this very feminine missionary position. Because when Lil Murda was doing backshots with Teak, they weren't facing each other. There was a sort of this impulsive, savage unfamiliarity, this disconnectedness, even though they were connecting physically. But with Uncle Clifford, that face-to-face, that openness, that let me see you, that honest, how they face each other. So, who is Lil Murda? Is he the backshot, the missionary, the closed off, the open and vulnerable, feminine, masculine? The answer is Lil Murda is Lil Murda. That's it. Nothing to dissect, nothing to see here. That's it. I'm Uncle Clifford. What is you? I'm Lil Murda. Don't ask me no questions. Because quite frankly, to keep it real, it's none of our business. He could be a rapper on stage one night, and he could be voguing in his girlfriend's house the next. And it's all, it's both, it's everything, it's nothing, it's none of our business. And Cisco was the perfect name to put on Lil Murda, because Cisco is a cis het straight man whose sexuality was questioned as long as he was giving us the hits. He has a sun tattoo on his belly button. I think he had a nipple pierced at one point, or he had his belly button pierced. He loves dragons. Shirt always open. Body rolling down to the BET and MTV Spring Break. Blonde hair. Silver hair. One glove. Leather. Finger out. Cisco was called gay by Nick Noggs his whole career. Women were seen. I was Cisco's #1 fan. You can find the footage of me hugging him on BET's 106 Park, and I'm not kidding you. I'm not joking. You can find me hugging Cisco on 106. I thought I was his biggest fan. I went to go meet him at the Queen Latifah show. Left with his white wife beater, the one Lil Murda's wearing on tonight. They was looking at me like, "Why do you love this man? He's gay." I've heard that question a million times. You like him? He's gay. Perfect name for the parallel of Lil Murda to try to question and dissect his masculinity. He's Lil Murda, period. Thanks. I've seen all I need to see. That was all the business that is mine. And we're about the bedroom. That's it. Who is you, Sharon? Nah, you blue. You blue. Saying goodbye. You can have my legacy now. She loves you. I can go. Thank you so much. Oh man, it's almost like when Ernestine was pleading to Lil Murda and Uncle Clifford when they weren't letting her in the water. It was very, "Why hast thou forsaken me?" Oh my God. So Katori Hall tweeted right before, I saw it right before I went live, so I couldn't include it, that them not using protection was one of those verbal soul-to-soul, full trust, vulnerability, honest agreements, because both of them are very cautious and cognizant of using condoms, and we've seen them have sex and they make sure the condom is present. So Uncle Clifford asked Lil Murda, like, "Are you good? Are you clean? Like, we okay?" And with that verbal, "I'm good." When you love somebody and when you're engaging them like that, you sort of have that verbal, it's a trust fall. Because we could be wrong, we could be misinformed, we could be lying. But it was that verbal agreement to be like, "I choose you, I trust you." Is the utmost vulnerability with their bodies and with their health to not use protection with each other. So yes, we know the straights are going to be pissed. The joy here, the safety, the innocence, the playfulness. This was soft and tender and loving, and I'm just basked in that beauty. Hello? I didn't want to use the word. I didn't want to use the word. It was a beautiful scene, not all rough. These two really be acting. The chemistry is fuego. Murda dressing up was so cute. I loved that. Like, I'm joining your world. I'm putting the mask down. That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, y'all not saying this. I'm not saying it. It ain't wrong by far. Like, y'all are right, but I don't know. I'm not saying it. I might as well have, huh? Which reminds me of Diamond and Big Bone sex scene. Yep. Uncle Clifford and Murda can look into each other's eyes and be intimate with each other. The fact that Diamond is hiding his seed and won't look in the eyes, and he's hiding so much because you're actually in love with Keyshawn. She's going to get the face-to-face missionary. Once we get Derek out of the way. Okay. All right. So I thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for dissecting with me. See, now I thought Lil Murda was ready at the end. I thought it was weird that Uncle Clifford stopped him from saying it. But Uncle Clifford knows Murda better than I do. So I'll leave it up to her. We're not going to get that story yet. But when Murda's ready. I thank y'all for being here. This is The Dissection. This happens live every Monday night, 6 p.m. EST. Thank y'all for already throwing hearts up in the chat. This is a love room. We love and accept everyone except Derek. I want your head on a mantle. I want to bathe in your skull, wear your teeth as confetti. It's F predators, F abusers over here all day long. If you are here live, that means you're a patron. You have signed up for patreon.com/JustLatasha for the $5 access to this live show. Dissect with me, chat with me, talk with me. And if you'd rather wait for the rewatch, that will happen on the YouTube channel, JustLatasha channel. Please subscribe. Take pictures, share the show, hit the share button, put on your social media, do all of that. It helps me so much. Thank y'all so much for being here. Next month, I am dropping a visual dissection. I am doing the movie Parasite. You will get a full booklet of the entire movie, breaking down the color theory, the themes, all of that. So it's going to be a very cool download at the $15 tier. And when you go higher, you guys start to get JustLatasha merch and gifts. I'm so happy that y'all are here. What up, Siege? No Derek Zone. No Derek Zone. They know better. I can't even breathe, Damien. Please. We don't have the time. All right, follow me on social media. I'm JustLatasha on Instagram, JustLatasha404 on Twitter. Subscribe to my channel. Thank y'all. Good night.